Davos continues to be The focus here in Davos continues to be on AI adoption, but more importantly, from an India standpoint, what AI is going to do to transform the Indian IT services industry. If last year there were question marks and some amount of, in the words of some of our speakers, gloom and doom around the India IT story and what AI could potentially do as a disruption, today the mood has changed. In fact, Indian IT services companies now talk about AI as being a big tailwind. One of the companies that's at the forefront of saying that, and in fact calling it out independently by way of revenue as well, is HCLTech. In fact, let me just throw some numbers your way. It's the fastest growing large cap tech services company for the fourth year running, reported 148 million in advanced AI revenue, one of the first companies in the Indian IT services pack to do so. CVK, always great to have you join us here in Davos. Thanks very much for your time. You're speaking to me after a very strong performance, not just for the last quarter, but for the year. You continue to be industry leading in terms of growth. How confident do you feel about being able to better that?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Shereen, for taking time to talk to us. Of course, we are very happy with the performance. But what we are truly excited is the opportunity that's ahead of us. While AI is a big inflection point in the industry, we've been very proactively looking at how to transform our services without worrying about any potential deflation or cannibalization of existing revenue streams. And I think that proactive approach has helped us really land very well with our clients in transforming the existing services. But what's even more exciting is a lot of completely new opportunities. Like in the tech vertical, there is close to $1 trillion of capex, which is, some of it is already done, some of it is in the anvil. Now, every one of these big programs will need significant services in terms of planning out data centers, the professional services, the GPU infrastructure, and the managed services around that. I think that's what we call as AI factory. That's a brilliant, very big opportunity. It could very easily be $1 billion revenue stream for us in the coming years. And there are many such revenue streams that we've identified. And it's still early days, but we have some head start. And that's why we're calling out our advanced AI revenue.
So let's double down on that. You said that these could potentially be $1 billion revenue opportunities for you in the coming years. Could you give me a more definitive timeline? And you also said that you've identified a bunch of these opportunities. What would those be?
So I started with talking about AI Factory. I think it's a very small service line within the, 150 million, which is about $600 million annualized revenue. It's probably less than 100 million. We think it can get to $1 billion kind of revenue stream in 3 to 4 years. And similarly, physical AI is again a very, very big theme. It's about, while a lot of things have talked about in agentic and AI in software development operations, physical AI is all about AI's ability to understand, sense, understand, and act with respect to the physical objects, whether it is warehouse management, port management, vision, all of that is what we call as physical AI. It's robotics plus AI infused workflows. I think that's very well plays into our engineering heritage because a lot of these companies, we've been working with them on their mechatronics and a lot of other areas. Now it logically extends itself. I think physical AI, it's actually $1 trillion industry by 2030. Okay. That's what the analysts talk about. But if I take the services, the places where we can play, that can also be another $1 billion opportunity. So I think we are just identifying these completely new areas. These are not where the traditional IT services we were constantly focused on. So while existing business will see some deflation, you can grow your wallet share and continue to offset that. But I think these new opportunities are really exciting.
So, this 145 million revenue number for advanced AI that you've reported, on the back of what you've just explained to us, what could this number, because this is still very small, a proportion of your overall revenue, what could this number look like a few years down the line?
I think we are thinking of at least in the next 2 to 3 years, we should get to $2.5 billion in size on this completely new service lines. These were not existing. This is not about modernizing existing services through AI. These are completely new discretionary spend areas.
Okay, so 2.5 billion over
so.
the next few years.
It's an aspiration, but of course, we have to see where it goes.
That's what you're working towards. So I want to then understand from you how things are also changing from a commercial model point of view, how things are changing when you talk about pricing as you bring more AI into the fold, you know, between humans and agents. I mean, how does the pricing model change, for instance?
I think it's still evolving, and there is no one silver bullet as to how do you price it. But at a conceptual level, moving all the work to outcome-based engagements, that's really where the value is. And instead of really looking at time and material or even output-based, can we focus on an outcome? Like a simple thing, like if you're really focused on a business operation where employee claim settlement, right? For example, somebody puts in a claim, it gets reimbursed after a week or so. But everything can be completely, the receipt can be read automatically. It can figure out it is for food or hotel or any other expense, put it in the system, validate it, and the payment can be done the same day or next day. So you're really focusing on end-to-end value chain and focused on an outcome. If you can commit to a client that you will deliver all their claims within the same day or next day, then I think that takes out so much of clutter in the entire system. So I think it's more outcome-based constructs.
So in this pivot and transition to outcome as a service, what is it going to mean in terms of the kind of capabilities that you need to double down on? What does it mean in terms of hiring? And also I wanted to bring your view in on the impact of the labor code and whether this is a one-time or we are going to continue to see some impact of this as it plays out.
Yeah, specifically on the labor code, a significant part of it is a one-time provision. Ongoing basis, it will have a hit into our cost structures. I think we called out about 10 to 20 basis points kind of impact on an ongoing basis. And coming to your earlier question on outcome as a service, here, of course, it's not just the technology capabilities, right? It's not about just agent take or infusing AI. It's again understanding the business process and really reimagining the business process so that it really becomes a seamless, which truly leverages the AI capabilities to deliver a superior experience and much better cycle time and things like that. So I think a good amount of process and business understanding in addition to the technical understanding and capabilities is what is going to help.
So, you know, speaking of capabilities, will you be looking now more actively at acquisitions to try and bolster the capabilities that you believe are going to be required in this new world?
Certainly in areas like physical AI, in agent take and some of the AI-led services, we're always on the lookout for either hiring the top talent or even acquiring capabilities, which is going to strengthen our overall offering.
What seems more likely?
Both. I mean, there's enough things to be done, and it's like how this whole space is now about the speed, right? How can you get the maximum speed in terms of scaling up your AI talent as well as capabilities? So there's really no time limit. It's really urgent, and we're always looking.
So what happens from a workforce point of view if Indian IT services companies are moving up the so-called value chain? What does it do to the kinds of people that you're going to be hiring, the specialized workforce that you will perhaps need to kind of hone in on? What does it do to the entry-level jobs as well?
I think it's really the emphasis is shifting from quantity to quality. This year, so far, in the 9 months, we've hired over 10,000 fresh talent. And here we are really focused on more elite engineers who have much higher aptitude and much more faster in learning and kind of ambitious about how to use these technologies. So we're really looking for high aptitude elite engineer cadre. I think that's where there is going to be a lot more traction as we see.
Let's talk about some of the risks, and I think the global uncertainty and, of course, the geopolitics of it continues to be a concern at this point in time that weighs on investment decisions. But what we've seen happen, for not just for you, but for the sector at large, is the deal wins have been very, very strong for every company. What do you make of that? Is that on account of the fact that we're seeing this pivot and this transformation to AI and so on and so forth? I mean, what do you account for the strong deal wins that everybody's seen and registered?
I think AI is significantly accelerating the urgency with which our clients or enterprises need to look at what they want to do, right? Even in the traditional services like an application development and modernization, can they significantly reimagine their application landscape using AI? Then they have to do it as soon as possible. So we are seeing large opportunities where we take over a large application landscape and completely modernize it with an AI-led approach. And those kind of large opportunities are there. And in fact, we announced a mega deal with a global apparel retailer, which is we become the AI technology partner for them in completely modernizing their landscape.
So what are clients asking of you when we talk about outcomes, and we were just discussing that? What are they asking you to do for them with the use of AI?
I think the most common ask is the software engineering. How can you deliver it 30-40% more efficiently, right? While there are tools available today, like coding assistants and things like that, they help deliver some level of efficiency. But if you look at the software development, there are many elements. So how can we give them confidence that we deliver value in every part of the software development lifecycle, from requirements to coding to testing to deployment and sustenance and all of that. So I think it's the existing tools do not necessarily address the end-to-end life cycle. So that's where the AI Force Agentic 2.0 platform that we've launched, it can underwrite 30% efficiency in the entire software development life cycle. And we feel pretty confident. There are very good use cases. And some of the deals that we have won are very large deals. Are the key differentiator has been our AI Force 2.0 platform.
So, help me understand, when we talk about large deals, and as you pointed out that we're seeing much more of that, what can we anticipate in terms of the deal size itself, the frequency as well as the deal size itself changing perhaps in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, usually very large deals tend to be a little bit more driven by cost optimization and efficiency driven. But transformative deals, I would think anywhere starting from 50 to 200 million. That's the space. If you are focused on G2000 or even G1000 companies, if you want to take over a landscape, fully transform it with AI as the primary driver, so that's the kind of deal sizes we should be looking at.
You were talking about coding. How much of the coding within HCLTech is now being done by Gen AI?
I would somewhere put it between 25 to 35%. That's what we think is happening of all the development work that we do.
And is there a plan is there a number that you're targeting, if at all?
Eventually, everything needs to have AI infusion. It's about, some clients are a little slow in adopting. I mean, to even adopt all the right tools, there are a lot of constraints, right? Whether they're risk and compliance, security, all of them will have to kind of really bless the entire program. So I think some of them are stuck at the pilot level, but some forward-looking clients are moving forward very aggressively.
So in terms of spends, and again, when you talk to your clients at this point in time, how much of new spending is being done on AI-related projects or AI-related pilots that hopefully they intend to scale?
I think, a big part of what was the traditional discretionary spend has really pivoted towards AI-led spend. Today, of course, there are some foundational blocks which enable AI, like data and cloud. They continue to be there. But SaaS and a lot of other things, that money is already shifting towards AI-led transformation. And that's in the enterprises. But in the tech sector, there is huge capex, and that is hardware, software, and services. So that's a completely new spend.
Where going to be closing out this decade in another few years now. And given the pace of accelerated growth that you have seen, what are the levers that you now intend to prioritize and focus on as you look at the next 5 years?
Our ambition remains to be the best AI solutions company in the world, and which means all these new solutions.
Not the biggest.
No, biggest.
That's already been taken.
No, we were always wanting to be the best AI solutions company, and it's not just services, right? The world has moved on from just services. It's services plus software, and that's where we are looking at being the best AI solutions company. And we have extremely good recognitions, very, very good client wins and proof points to really scale this journey.
I rattled off some numbers, but which are the metrics that you're proudest of?
I think, of course, revenue per employee is one very important metric. I think among the industry, at least if you compare the India peer group, we have the highest revenue per employee.
What is it today?
It's roughly around $70,000 per person, and it increased roughly 4.5% year on year.
And is that the rate of change that you expect?
Yeah, I think our objective is if we can deliver at least 5% growth without having to add people and really amplify the capabilities of existing talent to deliver a 5% growth. And if you're growing above 5%, then you add more talent.
Which also means then that there is a larger problem as far as hiring of people is concerned. The jobs market is going to be constrained.
Yes, but if somebody is able to really crack all these new opportunities, I think there is an explosive growth opportunity available. It's going to take some time, but you have to pivot to all the new spend areas, and that could be another big S-curve that we are beginning to see.
And how prepared or focused are you on being able to optimize on that S-curve that you just spoke of?
Absolutely. We're already at the tip of the 4 or 5 S-curves. If we can really kind of execute to that, we will definitely see a good momentum. And when you asked about what other metric, right? It's just not revenue per employee. It's also how much of your revenue is coming from IP, right? Software products and solutions, that is our own, right? Today we already have a $1.5 billion software business, and there are at least 7 or 8 products that we are building in the AI domain. And they all could become a big growth drivers as well.
So what could that $1.5 billion look like 5 years on?
It's a little early because many of them are just about incubation and their early days. I mean, we think if we can even generate $100 million product revenue out of each of the products that we are building, it'll be a fantastic accomplishment.
So what are you most looking forward to? What are you most excited about in 2026, CVK?
I think it's just the AI opportunity and how can we really scale, get the right talent, execute to what our clients are expecting. That's really what it is.
Your message on the promenade is supercharging. So
yes, absolutely,
what are you supercharged about?
Supercharge, I mean, actually bring the best of people and technology to supercharge progress for our clients, whether it is AI, whether it is cloud, data, all of that.
Well, CVK, always a pleasure. Many thanks for joining us here in Davos and taking us through the AI roadmap for HCLTech and, more importantly, the bets that you intend to focus on in the years to come. Thanks very much for your time. Well, you heard it from the man himself, advanced AI and the opportunity that HCLTech intends to double down on, a bunch of pillars that they have identified that they intend to chase after. It could be a very different company in the next 5 years if those bets pay off. But for now, from all of us here, we're going to take a break. The conversations will continue. Stay tuned to us. We're coming to you live from Davos 2026.